Hi there and welcome back to my channel. Several weeks back, GTMedia reached out to me to unbox and review their Android TV box with ATSC 3.0 called the HDTV Converter X1. And that's what's in this box right here. So, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. In the package, it looks like they shipped this DVB-T2 digital TV antenna, as well as the media box itself. However, I don't believe this antenna is normally included and was just shipped for my purposes, as it doesn't state it is included in their marketing. However, I could be wrong. And this is the HDTV Converter X1. It boasts a digital video recorder or DVR capabilities, Bluetooth 5.0 connectivity, ships with Android 11, has 2 gigs of RAM, and 32 gigs of storage, can connect via Wi-Fi, has a USB port, has an antenna input, and the software to play HDTV content. On the back of the package reveals a few more features and details, such as support for 4K by 2K, 10-bit HDR video, and AC4 audio, and support for Widevine L1 DRM playback. Opening the box reveals the media box itself. The top has HDTV ATSC 3.0 branding on a molded house design that illuminates. On the front, there's branding with an LED indicator below the GTMedia logo. Nothing on the left side. And on the back from left to right we have the coax antenna input, LAN port, HDMI output, and a 5V 2A DC barrel input. On the right side, there's a single USB Type-A port. From the blue color, I'd like to say that this should indicate it is a 3.0 port, even though the box states USB 2.0. And on the bottom is a device reset pinhole, as well as a label with power and regulatory information. Digging deeper into the box reveals the DC power supply, HDMI cable, IR remote control, product warranty card, and the instructions manual. The antenna box contains a short metallic antenna, and the antenna base with a cable terminating to a coax connection and USB Type-A, presumably to provide power to amplify it. Assembly would be as simple as removing the protective cap and screwing the short antenna onto the threads. So now, let's get this hooked up. Okay, here we are with the Converter X1 components laid out on my stand. Again, here's the antenna, the media box, the remote, HDMI cable, but I already have one hooked up so won't be using this, and power supply. Also, for the DVR function, I'll be testing with the SanDisk 16GB USB 3.0 flash drive. And to power the amplified antenna, I'll be using a spare USB power adapter. If you don't plan to use the DVR function, you can simply plug the antenna into the side USB port for power. So now, I'll just get this all connected. I also like to hardwire to the network whenever possible, so I won't be using the Wi-Fi. Once power is applied, the little house on top of the box lights up like so. And here's the boot sequence. First, I'd like to apologize for the bad quality of the video, which is most likely due to the lens and filter I use. It looked fine on a tiny monitor when recording. Anyways, once booted for the first time, it walks you through a control familiarization and setup wizard. The remote does not come with the required AAA batteries, so be sure you have a pair to power your remote. Now, just run through the setup, selecting your language, time zone, display size, network connection, etc. The next display just shows the e-manual and where the HDTV Converter X1 can be purchased. You can simply select exit in the lower right corner to skip this. Notice in the left-hand corner it states the Converter X1 device is ready. Once again, select exit in the lower right corner to skip this. The next screen will state no channels are found and will prompt to do a full scan, so go ahead and let this run. It will take several minutes. I know I have more channels in the area than the 10 it found, so let me save and exit. And press exit again. Move my antenna to a more optimal location, such as by my window. Go back to HDTV player. go down to Channel Scan and select Full Channel Scan. Several moments later, and I now have 76 channels found. Great! Save and exit. The exit button on the remote serves as exit and your back button. So if I press it, it will take me to my current broadcast. Pressing menu on the remote will bring up the full menu of HDTV player. Channel list will list all the channels found. During a channel broadcast, pressing info on the remote will bring up the channel's information and runtime of the current program. Pressing EPG on the remote brings up the electronic program guide, aka TV guide. And going back to the main menu channel list, you can arrow over to the specific program and select it, which brings up the PVR menu. Without available storage, these menu items will be unselectable. The channel scan menu just gives you different options on how to scan for the channels, if needed. In the settings menu, Channel Manager allows you to modify your found channels by pressing the corresponding color on your remote. You'll want to pay attention to these colors because once pressed, a submenu is activated where the functions associated to the colors change, like this. Exiting back to settings, time settings just change where the system time is synced from. Captions is self-explanatory. Audio allows you to select your preferred audio stream when available. The personalization menu just changes the behavior of some of your interactions with HDTV player. Moving to each item shows a description of what each function will do. The Restore Settings menu option is another one that is self-explanatory. The Introduction setting. Remember on boot up we were presented with the e-manual and where to purchase the X1? Well, this will allow you to turn this off, or pull it up on demand if needed. And About shows the model name, version, release date, and serial number of HDTV player. Moving down to the DVR menu, I'll first visit the Select DVR storage option. As you can see, it only shows the internal storage found at /storage/emulated/0. Now I'll go ahead and plug my USB flash drive in. Navigate back to Select DVR storage option, and we can see we now have two locations, the internal storage and my newly added USB external storage found at /storage and a series of numbers and letters. So I'll go ahead and select that. If you now go to the DVR media list, you'll see there's nothing there because we have not yet recorded anything. This is where you'd go if you wanted to replay anything recorded. Exiting out of this, now let's start the PVR. You'll know it is active by this red flashing circle. To stop the recording, just press exit on the remote control and select OK. The red flashing circle is gone. Now if I go back to the DVR media list, I see the recording I just made. Selecting it plays the recording. You should be able to pause and play with the media control buttons on the remote. I did, however, notice that the rewind button states it's not supported yet, coming soon. Jumping back to the DVR menu, choosing Manage DVR List allows you to do just that. From here you can rename, delete, select DVR storage location, and list of scheduled recordings depending on the colored buttons pressed. Or move the arrow over to the right to select the same options. Jumping to the Manage Timer list, this menu allows you to modify any programs you may have scheduled to be recorded, again based on the color function chosen. The Broadcast App option I can only assume to be a specific app associated with a station that will open that respective app, if available. And the Join Us is just a page with contact and social media info for GTMedia. By the way, channels with a key icon next to them mean they are DRM protected. These channels will not allow DVR recording. The rest of the X1 converter box is just your standard Android TV box running GTMedia's launcher. If you've navigated an Android TV box, the experience will be familiar. Navigating is quick and smooth enough to not be annoying, like some of the interfaces found in some lower-end boxes or lower-end smart TVs. The box comes loaded with a few apps such as TV Center, which is just Kodi, Chrome browser, Netflix. However, from my testing, this seems to be the web client version and not the native Android TV app. So the remote control loses its function until you press the mouse cursor button on the remote to control Netflix via mouse input, where the remote emulates mouse control via the navigation arrows. I tried updating Netflix with the included Aptoide TV store and even went so far as to sideload the proper APK Android TV version from APK Mirror, only to be greeted with a "this version of Netflix app is not compatible with your device" error. This was too frustrating to maneuver, so didn't even bother to test. Oh, another annoyance is there is no voice input on the remote, so you will have to manually type everything in whenever there is a text input field. Here I am activating and testing a non-existent microphone.
What's the weather in Houston? What's the weather?
And here's what the mouse cursor control looks like. Other streaming apps, such as Jellyfin, seem to download, install, and stream video without issue, including 4K HDR and Dolby Vision content, as demonstrated here. And here, where in both cases, the videos were stated to be direct playing. Content from Amazon Prime Video also seems to play without issue. I did go ahead and run through the online update found within the GT store, and per the update, the little house on top no longer illuminates red when the device is off. I imagine people would be annoyed by the light at night when watching anything in the dark, or when trying to sleep. My final thoughts on this device are that if you don't have any streaming box at all, and your current smart TV's interface is terrible and or horribly slow, and you need DVR for over-the-air channels, then this relatively inexpensive Android TV box with built-in tuner may just satisfy your needs. However, if you require the convenience of voice search and input, and or have a Netflix account you want to comfortably use and don't require the DVR functionality, then there are better and less expensive options out there, such as a Roku streaming stick or Amazon Fire Stick. I'll leave affiliate links in the description below to this GTmedia X1 converter box, as well as alternatives. And if you do choose to purchase any, I get a small kickback at no extra cost to you, and I appreciate your support. If you found the information in this video informative, please give it a like. If you're curious to see what other videos I put out in the future, please subscribe. Until the next one, thanks for watching.